Welcome back to Village in Motion this Monday, March the 4th. I'm Clint Lambert, and again, have the pleasure of being the host for this segment of the show. And I'm here with Bill Schenck talking about the History Forum group. And Bill, we're glad to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here. I'm always happy to talk about history.
Well, tell me something. I've never been to a History Forum group. I've heard about it for the last 11 years. What is it?
Well, everybody's welcome to come. We don't have a membership. It's a forum, a discussion, where we have primarily, although not exclusively, Green Spring residents who talk about some topic relating to history.
Okay.
What I would say, everything from pigs to popes.
Pigs to popes, huh? I like that.
And we define history very broadly. It's not that Columbus discovered America in 1492, but it's more about why Columbus came to America. It's not the history you learned in your elementary schools.
Okay.
It's history that has been, the best programs are history that's been lived by residents here. Although that's not exclusive. We have residents who might have a background in a certain area, medieval history or whatever.
Right.
But I have found that the most interesting topics are when a resident here talks about something that he or she had been involved in.
Okay. Okay.
I'll give you an example. The next program on March 14th, Kanina Spalding is talking about the suffragettes. And I'd like to get back to the suffragettes issue, but she was not a suffragette.
Okay, I was just going to say.
She wouldn't be here if she was. But she's been active at the Lorton Workhouse where many of the suffragettes were held. So she knows a lot about it from a historical standpoint.
And so those are the kinds of things that you have.
Right.
How many people do you have attend?
Well, I should say we meet on the second and fourth Thursdays of every month. We normally meet in the Academic Room, but during the repositioning, we've been moved to the theater, which we had our last program in the theater, and that works fine.
All right.
How many do we have? It really varies. Sometimes we'll have 25 or 30, sometimes we have 100. That's partly because we have some favorite speakers, if you will. When Len Kalkworth gives a talk, and he's going to be talking in December about the separation of church and state.
Oh, okay.
He's very popular and he draws a good crowd.
Okay.
There are other people who aren't as well known, or the topic might not be of interest to so many people.
So, twice a month?
Twice a month.
What time?
3 o'clock.
Okay.
I should say twice a month, except the History Forum goes on vacation in July and August. And this year we're taking an early vacation because of the repositioning.
Right.
So there'll be no History Forum in June, July, or August.
So it'll be 3 months of hiatus.
Right.
All right. With this, how do you select your topics? I mean, people just raise their hand and said, "I'll present this something I've lived or something I've studied about," or
We get that, and that's very helpful. We have an executive committee: John Lee, Dave Hall, and Joe Kyle, and myself.
okay.
We try and get together once a month to talk about ideas. The best way is when somebody knows somebody, a resident. And I should say we almost always have residents, but occasionally a speaker from outside
okay.
who's knowledgeable about a certain topic. So sometimes I'll be at dinner down in Woodland Skies and I'll overhear a conversation at another table close to me. My hearing's not that good. But somebody will say something and it rings a bell, and I'll try and talk to that person and see if they might be interested. Not everybody who has a topic they might be interested in is a good speaker. Not every good speaker has a topic they're interested in.
Right.
So it's not that we have want people who are excellent public speakers.
Right.
But we do know that public speaking is not for everybody. And so we try and match somebody who'll be a pretty good speaker. We also have the ability to have audio-visual pictures, YouTube, whatever, which is relatively new for the history forum, and that really helps to have something that people can actually see.
But the history forum is different from the Great Decisions then?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
That's more current foreign affairs.
All right.
We might have something that would be historical foreign affairs.
All right. With this, if I had a friend or a relative or a former employee that wanted to say something or talk about something, what would I do?
Contact me and I'd talk with you and see if that person might be willing to come or give a talk. Hopefully I could ask you, hey, is this person a good speaker? We don't want somebody who's going to get up there and freeze in front of everybody.
Okay. So if residents have themselves or know of someone, contact you.
Yes,
Okay.
or any of the other members of the executive board of the history forum.
Okay. Bill Schenck, and you're in the phone book, right?
Right.
And the history forum is advertised on Channel 6. And what, on the bulletin boards also?
We try and publicize it as much as possible.
Okay.
Yes, you're right, on the flyers, the bulletin board. We also try and have, what would you call it, coordinate with other similar groups that might be of interest. For example, in the fall, right around Veterans Day, we're going to have a talk by a resident here, Peg Iber. She was a tour guide in D.C., and she's going to talk about monuments in the district or in the area that have something to do with veterans. We're going to try and co-sponsor that with the American Legion because we know they'd be interested.
Right.
And it also brings in more people for us.
Very good. Well, we have 1 minute left, and you said you wanted to come back to a topic and talk about what's coming up, right?
Well, I wanted to mention the next talk, Kanina Spalding, March 14th, 3 o'clock in the theater, talking about suffragettes.
Okay.
And next year is the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. We hope to have a series of programs that will be devoted to that topic.
All right. Sounds good. Well, it sounds like you guys have got a lot of history behind you, and we've got a lot to learn.
Never too much history.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Bill, thank you so very much for sharing with us, and look forward to a continued interest and activity with the History Forum.
Thanks.